Welcome back to the Deals with Dad. My name is Anders Varner. In today's episode, we're talking about intermittent fasting and is it the best way for busy dads to lose weight? So we're going to be walking through some of the common misconceptions. We're going to be talking about how to implement intermittent fasting, if that is something that you would choose to do, why it works, some of the best strategies, and on the highest level, what actually is going on and why is intermittent fasting so popular? Before we get into this, I want to make sure that everybody is aware. If you get into the show description right now, there is a link to the Diesel Dad Mastermind. If you are a busy dad that wants to lose 20 to 40 pounds without restrictive diets, crazy supplements, or spending 60 to 90 minutes in the gym, and you get to work directly with me, which would be super cool, the original Diesel Dad, that's me. Come and hang out. Click the link in the description right now. You will get sent directly to an application page. We're looking for very committed dads that want to lose between 20 and 40 pounds. And this mentorship is actually doing phenomenally well right now. It's great for us to be able to meet all the dads, get to work with them. And it's been an absolute pleasure to get to help busy dads become better leaders in their household by losing weight, becoming more active, and educating themselves on nutrition, fitness, and mindset principles to get them to their goals. Now, the reason I want to do this is because every time we hop on one of these calls to bring people into the Diesel Dad mentorship, at some point in time, they have all done an intermittent fasting protocol. Now, for anybody that is living under a rock, a fitness rock somewhere, and is unaware of what intermittent fasting is, it is the idea that you are restricting your eating to a specific time window. One of the most common time windows is a 16-8 eating window. The idea is that you do not eat for 16 hours and then you have an 8-hour block in which you now can eat whatever food you would like. Whatever food you would like is usually where this thing turns into a problem. So the reason that this comes up a lot is because it's a very simple way. And I actually, for some people that have confusing lives and don't have a ton of time to think about food, I do recommend at times that an intermittent fasting protocol be used in their life. It makes a lot of sense. If you struggle with eating too much, if you have a lot of additional body fat, you likely eat too much, you don't move enough, and your nutrition is a little chaotic. So if there is a way to go about adjusting your nutrition, you really have three main ways to go about it. Now, anytime we start to discuss the three dials that we get to turn to change your physique or get you to your goals, to lose body fat, there's really three main things that we get to focus on: quantity, quality, and timing. With each of them, the goal is to lower the total caloric intake to a deficit. So you have your maintenance calories, which is the amount of food that you need to stay the exact same. That is where you are perfectly fueling your body to the exact amount of energy that you are burning in a day, and the scale is going to stay exactly flat. If you are in a caloric surplus, which if you carry excess body fat, you've been a caloric surplus for quite some time, that is when you are eating more than your body is burning, and the exact opposite is true is when you are trying to lose body fat and you are in a caloric deficit, in which you are eating significantly less than your body is burning in a day, therefore it is forced to go and understand, or to go and take the body fat, use that as energy. That way you lose the body fat and you build a strong, lean, and athletic body that you're proud of. So what is going on when we start to talk about intermittent fasting? Most likely, you are solely going to be focusing on the timing aspect of nutrition. That means you're fasting for 16 hours. We just don't even think about food. This is why it's so successful, because instead of worrying about, should I eat the chicken breast? Should I eat the egg? Should I eat the ground beef? Should I eat vegetables? Should I eat rice? How do I combine all three of these? Proteins, fats, and carbs, and all these extra little pieces that get so confusing on my day. Just don't eat. So you take 16 hours out of your day and you just don't eat. Most likely, you're going to find an eating window that really fits your life. For many people, that's like a 2 p.m. to a 10 p.m. And that way you're going to sleep at 10:30 right after you eat your last meal or your last snack. Now, if for some reason you wanted to choose to go down the intermittent fasting, or you've had great success in the past with intermittent fasting, that's fantastic. What I think is really important for everyone to understand when it comes to intermittent fasting is that it is not some magic pill. It is not some magic solution that is going to get you over the hump because you fast in the morning and now you're in ketosis, and then in the afternoon you can eat whatever you want in the afternoon. You can eat pizza all day long and it's just going to magically solve your problems. It's not true. At the end of the day, the total amount of calories that you eat in a day is going to determine the amount of body fat that you are either burning, the amount of fat that you are storing, the amount of fat that you are keeping on your body, however you want to describe it. The caloric intake is the most important thing. Energy balance is the most important thing. Energy in versus energy out, and that is going to determine over a long period of time what your body composition looks like. Now, here is another example of where I may want a person to implement an intermittent fasting type schedule into their routine. Many times people will come to us and they are between 20 and 40 pounds overweight and they want to lose that 20 to 40 pounds. It's a very noble goal. We're always excited when people come to us and trust us on their fat loss journey because it's a super vulnerable time. You're literally coming to a coach and saying, I'm having a hard time with my nutrition. And it isn't like I'm having a hard time over the last week or the last 2 weeks. It's like 2 years. 3 years. I can't remember the last time that I was in shape. That is where you're at when you come to me with 40 pounds to lose. On top of that, you're not just coming to me with the 40 pounds to lose, you're coming with the emotional baggage that comes along with lacking confidence, being upset when you look at yourself in the mirror. We even have some people throw words out like ashamed of themselves. It's really heavy when you're carrying that kind of weight and you're not showing up in the world, you're not showing up with your family, you're not able to go and do the things, you're shying away from physical activities. However, it's too big of a leap to go from unhealthy with little to no education about macronutrients all the way to count every single calorie that exists in your life. Yes, I'm going to move you in that direction, but I want to do it in a slow progression that allows you to understand how food works. So if you are that type of person, if you are not just a busy person that I talked about earlier, so we just don't have to worry about food, but I need to understand between quality, quantity, and timing a strategy that allows you to consolidate the amount of time that you are able to consume food. There's a couple benefits that go along with this that are just bigger, higher level thinking things than just having an eating window or just not eating during a certain amount of time and consuming fewer calories. There's something that happens when you are in a dieting phase. You're hungry. You're legitimately hungry. Your body has this hormone called leptin, and it's like the signal that says, hey, I'm hungry. It's time to eat. And you have to develop a relationship with that hormone, because if you need to lose 40 pounds, for the last couple years, you have been in a place that you have answered that call with some sort of salty, sweet, crunchy, delicious morsel of food that satisfies that hunger, and you feel happy about it. And now you're going to be entering into a stage where there's a good chance you're going to be slightly hungry for a long period of time. So intermittent fasting is a strategy that you can use to lower your caloric intake by eating inside a certain amount of time only and having long extended periods of time in which you are fasting. But it's also a great strategy for getting comfortable having slight hunger throughout the day. Do I want you to be miserable because you're hungry all day? No. In fact, that's when intermittent fasting starts to go bad, because you're so miserable all day just waiting for that time window that as soon as you get it, you go and hammer a pizza. Now you've eaten 4,000 calories and you totally destroyed the whole purpose of the experiment. So here's a great way to go about implementing intermittent fasting, especially if you are a busy dad. The prime person that we are going to be looking for, if this is a strategy that you would like to employ, is to have a caloric range. So this is going to be somewhere in a maintenance type zone in which you have a slight deficit built into it. So say your maintenance calories is exactly 2,500. Well, then we're going to say that your zone is about 2,300 to 2,600. Because in reality, your actual maintenance calories are probably 24 to 2,600. It's not exactly 2,500 every day. You need to have like a little range. In that range, we want to be playing to the low side of it. So you set your 16-8 window, you start eating at, say, noon, you eat a dinner with your family, and you end eating at 8 o'clock. Now you have your big meals. You've got a lunch, you're going to have a snack, and then you're going to have a dinner, and those are going to serve as your 3 meals. The next thing that you're going to focus on is your protein intake. So I want you to be eating a healthy dose. We're talking between 4 to 6, maybe 8 ounces of lean meat at each meal, and that needs to be eaten first. The reason we want to prioritize the protein first is because protein is very satiating. Nobody ever ate a 4 to 6 ounce chicken breast and went, man, I'd love to have so much more chicken breast. It just doesn't exist like that. It's very satiating. It doesn't have that sweet. It doesn't have that saltiness to it, that thing that just we keep going back to the bag of chips or we keep going back to the ice cream. It doesn't have that drive to go back to it. So protein is very important because it lowers your general hunger very quickly. On top of that, as we're building our plates out for the 2 big meals and the snacks, we want to make sure that there's some sort of vegetable that is a part of that. The reason that vegetable is so important is because it's very fibrous, 1, but 2, high volume, low calorie foods are a phenomenal way to bring those hunger pains down and provide you with a ton of health benefits. From there, have a little bit of a free-for-all. Relax your brain a little bit, right? Maybe you get some potatoes, maybe you get some rice, maybe you even finish it off with like a little a fruit or something that has a little bit higher sugar content so that you're able to breathe a little bit and not be so rushed into just feeling angry that all you can eat is chicken and vegetables. It's not a reality. So if you're a busy person, if you're going from you need to lose 40 pounds to getting down to a healthy body weight, intermittent fasting is a phenomenal strategy, assuming that we're able to take a few extra precautionary steps. It's not a free-for-all. It's not a free-for-all for you to go and eat pizza for 8 straight hours and wash it down with ice cream. That is not the goal of intermittent fasting. The goal of intermittent fasting is for you to set an eating window that allows you to eat healthy food. However, you don't have to jump all the way to counting every single macro that goes into your mouth. So set your eating window, prioritize the protein, prioritize some sort of vegetable, and then sprinkle on the fun foods. That way, the satiety of the meat brings your total hunger level down. The vegetable content ensures that you're getting all the vitamins and minerals and fibrous foods that you need in order to be strong and healthy, and then have the fun. Because by the time you get to the fun part, you won't be that hungry, and you'll start to understand that all that fun food is just a big, bright, shiny light that you stop looking at after a while. My name is Anders Varner. Make sure you get in the description. If you're a busy dad that wants to lose between 20 and 40 pounds, come and work with me. This is the Diesel Dad. We'll see you guys next week.